The Einyaim of Chernobyl. Menachem was a young child when both his parents passed away, leaving him an orphan. His uncle had mercy on him, and although he was very poor and had children of his own, he took Menachem into his home. There were no extra beds in the small house of the young orphan. Each night he would lie down on the floor near the oven. As he tried to fall asleep, he would listen to his uncle studying Torah, and these would warm up his soul. Menachem was a very bright and pure child. His attitude and uncle provided him with food and a place to sleep. But other than that, they did not pay much attention to him. They didn't realize how much the young orphan needed love. They were not bad people. They were simply not aware. One day, Menachem's uncle traveled out of town. Upon his return, he gave each of his children a gift, a small knife made of silver. He had forgotten to bring a gift for his orphan nephew. The children were happy, but Menachem was very sad. He left the house and wandered around for a while, his head bowed low. His feet led him to the base medrash. In the base medrash, the young child approached the Aron HaKodesh and opened it. He stood before it and began to cry. "Ribbon Shalom," he called out in pain. "I am alone in this world. My mother and father are gone, and there's no one in the world who cares about me. See how all the children received a knife from their father, and only I received nothing. Please, Hashem, give me a small knife made of silver too." Menachem stood before the Aron HaKodesh and cried until he felt that Hashem had heard him and felt calm. The next day, Menachem's cousin noticed that he had a knife exactly like theirs. Where did he get the knife? They wondered, and then they whispered among themselves, "He must have stolen it." They hurried over to their father and informed him that Menachem had stolen a silver knife. The uncle summoned the child to him and asked, "Who gave you this knife?" The child answered innocently, "My father gave it to me." "Your father?" he wondered the uncle. "Your father is not alive." And the child explained, "My father Shemayim gave it to me." Now what would you think? The child is telling the truth or not? Well, the uncle did not believe the child and decided to test him. Several days later, he gave each of his children a coin. Only Menachem received nothing. Menachem left the house. His uncle quietly followed behind him, careful not to make a sound. He was surprised when his nephew made his way directly to the base medrash. He stared up open-mouthed as Menachem opened the Aron HaKodesh and then cried out to Hashem, "Ribbon Shalom, my uncle gave each of his children a coin, and he gave me nothing. Please, Hashem, merciful Father, give me a coin just like those my cousins have." As soon as Menachem was done praying, a coin landed in his hand. The happy child clutched the coin and left the base medrash with a spring in his step. The uncle rubbed his eyes in disbelief. Why, the child must be a lovely medrash to be answered by Hashem right away, he thought. From then on, Menachem and uncle paid special attention to him and lavished him with love and warmth. When the boy became a bocher, he left his uncle's home to study in a yeshiva in Lithuania. There he grew into a great Talmid Chacham who was well known for his acts of chesed. The tzaddik, he also gained fame for his tefillas, which were known to have special power. After his marriage, Menachem became a melamed. He used every spare moment to study more and more Torah. At that time, many people were traveling to the Baal Shem Tov to learn about the new movement known as Hasidus. At first, Rabbi Nachum did not travel to the Baal Shem Tov, but the Baal Shem Tov had heard that Rabbi Nachum had a special neshama and he wanted to meet him. The Baal Shem Tov knew that Rabbi Nachum would not leave his Talmidim to make the long journey to Mezhebush, where he lived. So he sent a message to all the parents of Rabbi Nachum's students, asking them not to send their children to him. The month of Elul arrived. Rabbi Nachum waited for his Talmidim to arrive, but not even one student showed up. Elul passed. Rabbi Nachum still had no students. He began to think that perhaps the parents were not happy with the way he had taught the children. If that's the case, he thought, I must return the money they paid me the last year. If they were not pleased with me, there is no way I can keep their money. Rabbi Nachum was very poor. He had to sell most of the furniture in his humble home to come up with the parts with the money. They were anguished. We cannot possibly accept this money from you, they exclaimed. We were the most pleased with the way you taught our child. It is the Baal Shem Tov who had instructed us not to send our children to you at this time. Now, Rabbi Nachum understood what was going on. He understood that the Baal Shem Tov wanted to meet him and prepared for the journey without delay. After many days of traveling, Rabbi Nachum finally arrived at the Baal Shem Tov's home. Just as he was about to enter, the Baal Shem Tov warned his wife, "Be careful. The guest who had just arrived, he is a thief." The Rebbetzin knew that the people who visited her husband were all great tzaddikim, and she could tell that the new visitor was a great tzaddik too. She understood that the Baal Shem Tov did not mean that he was a thief in the literal sense. "Why do you say such a thing about this holy man?" she asked. The Baal Shem Tov replied, "This young man is so holy that he is taking the entire Gan Eden and all of Olam Abba for himself." Rabbi Nachum became a close talmid of the Baal Shem Tov. After the Baal Shem Tov's passing, he continued to Mezrich and became a close talmid of the Maggid of Mezrich. The Maggid instructed Rabbi Nachum to travel around the world and bring simple Yidden closer to Hashem. Rabbi Nachum traveled from city to city and from village to village. He spoke to the people from his heart, and many Yidden did teshuvah as a result. He also worked tirelessly to perform the important mitzvah of Pinyat Shivuim, freeing a Jewish prisoner, and Achnasas Kala, marrying off poor brides. After the passing of the Maggid of Mezrich, Rabbi Nachum was among the Maggid's followers who continued leading the Maggid's Hasidim. After years of traveling, he settled in the city of Chernobyl. Many great tzaddikim would tell stories of the greatness of Rabbi Nachum. At the end of his life, Rabbi Nachum became sick, and on the 11th of Cheshvan, 1798, his holy neshama departed from this world. His sons, Reb Moshe and Reb Mordechai, followed his footsteps. May his merit serve as a blessing.